Hello, I am Davina, and hello to all of you. Very bold, beautiful, and brilliant, and highly evolved souls. Today's topic is your parents failed you. And I've kind of had a release this morning, I think, of the guilt. And I've been tapping into that. I spoke of that in my last video. And that guilt and self-blame can be so very, very insidious. And especially for the scapegoat, that they carry all of that weight with them until you heal and become free of it, that the guilt and the shame that your parents dumped on you. And yeah, I've realized that I think I've been feeling a lot of shame and guilt around I've I've been looking for another nanny job, and I think I'm in the background. There's this real like, I should be doing better. I should have my business going by now. Why aren't I thriving more? I should be more healed. I should be more successful. I shouldn't, I always feel like, I think underneath, like I'm the failure, like I'm the loser. And it's like just feeling that this morning, like the weight of the guilt coming off, that I should wear a shirt around, like that I'm not a loser, my parents are abusers, like that I should be wearing a shirt that says, yes, I'm really fucked up, my parents, abused me, emotionally neglected me. They failed me. My parents failed me. And I think in this culture, in many cultures, it is like taboo to do that, to say, my parents failed me. My parents, did this. My parents, failed me in numerous ways. And, and I believe that that the parents, subconsciously know that they're failing. They feel loathsome, and they also feel like they're failing you as a parent, I believe. And so again, they're unloading that guilt. They're making it say like it's your fault. It's insane, right? But it is. I keep thinking of this one instance where I saw this man, and like the father and the daughter, and he's pushing her onto the couch, and she's 14 months old. And then he says, "Ya whiner, yeah, whiner. Why are you crying?" Because she started to cry. Of course, it's like he's saying, "What? You're not like strong enough to handle my abuse?" Like that's what he's saying, right? He's blaming his daughter for his own abuse. Um, it's a despicable and horrible thing that these parents do to their children, what they did to you. It's really just a really horrible thing. And it's not just even your parents that have failed you in, like, you could probably make a list of 100 things, I'm sure, right? But it's also all of the world, the society that fails us again and again and again, right? We go off to school, and I remember my elementary school, and the teachers were verbally abusive. One of them, I think, was physically abusive. I think there's another one that sexually assaulted one of, he was a coach or something, and I think he sexually assaulted one of the girls on the team. And it's like all these things were going on at my school. Like it was insane, and there was bullying going on, and not much was done about it. Of course, this is the 1980s, but a lot of things haven't changed that much. There have been some small steps, but the schools, the mental and the health system also fails us. Um, you know, um, I was an anorexic. I had an eating disorder at age 20. And all I remember is like going to the doctor, and they like, here's some like Prozac or whatever it was, Zoloft, and that was it. And then finally I went to some counseling, but again, no one said, do you have childhood trauma? I did other counseling throughout my 40s. And again, none of my counselors said, I think you probably had some emotional neglect and abuse in your childhood. It's no wonder that you can't set boundaries, right? Like I was struggling with boundaries all the time. I was talking about um things going on with my husband, and it's like no one like stepped up and went, did you know you're in an abusive domestic violence situation? Like I was so like no one told me these things outright explicitly. And even in my most recent counseling, it seemed like it's just sort of under the carpet or something, that people don't want to say your parents abused you. It's like we don't want to blame the parents. ACA failed me too, right? They had a lot of like blamey, shamey things going on. Like, here's your list of, they called it a laundry list. Here's the list of traits that you need to fix in yourself, your defects. That's what they called it, the defects. And it's like, yeah, I think it's throughout. It's like the underlying current in our world is like, nobody wants to say how fucked up they are. And I realized, like, yeah, how much shame and guilt I was feeling about going back to work. And it's really, I mean, I don't like, what else? I don't have anything else I can do, or I'm gonna go homeless, and I say I'm not gonna say that anymore, but um yeah, it is. And I can just see how even um like the parents of the I went to an interview, like I went to a trial, and I could see how he was trying to unload his guilt onto me, right? um yeah, it's out there, it's everywhere, and it's passed on and on and on, right? I don't want to deal with this guilt and shame, so I'll just give it to you. So we have to be really, really careful about the people that we're with, and we have to really set fearless boundaries. Like, no, I am not taking on your crap, you know? Yeah, because that's what we do. If we don't have a boundary there, then we are like energetically taking on their stuff. Like, for example, yeah, if someone's interrupting you constantly in a conversation, and we don't speak up about it because we don't want to offend them and we don't want to make them feel bad, and we feel so guilty for setting this boundary, right? Because we don't want to bring up their shame, we don't want to bring up their guilt. But so it's just like, call that out as like, that's my conditioned self, but I have a right to protect myself, protect my energy. So yeah, I mean, the world has, and then what else? Like the job situation, like the economics, like the world is a messed up place. And you were an innocent child being born into this like very traumatic world, and it's not your fault. It is so key to try to remind yourself that every day, that you came into this world innocent and pure, and you just came into this world like curious. You wanted to learn, you wanted to connect, and you didn't have any like parents think that their children have some like malicious like intent or something, when they obviously don't. um yeah, it's yeah, I just wanted to say, like, really want to get across that your parents have failed you, the world has failed you in so many numerous ways, and you are not a failure, and it is not your fault. And when we unload that, then we can maybe stop going around in the world. Like, I think I feel so much pressure to like look fine, look normal, look like I'm doing everything perfectly. So much pressure. And that pressure comes from the denial and the guilt and the shame and the self-blame. Um, that comes from like, I am just naturally defective. And so I need to like, appear to be whatever, is sort of socially acceptable or whatever. Um, yeah, it's really important to turn that blame onto our parents and hold them accountable for what they did. And if you need a freaking t-shirt or a freaking sign, like I should start wearing a sign, like just like, and it's workplace is one of the toughest things to do because we got to put on like you got to put on a mask to go to work and go, I'm fine, I'm not fucked up at all, right? It's ridiculous. So when you are in the workplace, make sure that you like hold your boundaries and you don't take on other people's crap. And in any situation, just make sure that you're holding your own and because you have every right to do that. And yeah, you are not shameful or defective, and you didn't do anything wrong. So I think that's all I wanted to ramble about this morning. Um, and as always, I'm just wishing you so many blessings on your journey of healing and awakening. And I'm Davina, Appleness Blooming. Thanks for watching.